Oh man. We got some high class coonery going on. You feel me? Viewer discretion is advised in this motherfucker. If you don't like cooning, you might want to turn your head. But it's always on a ambiguous scale. It's never direct. He's not saying, oh, Negroes can't have their rights, but if you can decode language, you'll see Jason Whitlock, donkey of the day, matter of fact, hippo of the day, Coon, and telling people that the afro is not professional and he shouldn't have it. Then you got his counterpart right there, representative of Western society. He'll give his take too. You got Eric Dyson, an advocate for saying that you can be professional and you don't have to present yourself in the way Western society tells you to. And then you have, oh boy to the left, Broussard, concurring with Dyson. Let's get into it.
I'm not wrong about the guy needing to project a professional image if he wants to accomplish all of his goals. Affect real change.
Bam, okay. He said he's not wrong if he want to accomplish his goals. For one, affect real change. You don't know that. Cutting his hair and doing all that shit will not better affect the police from hurting citizens of America and how he wants to change America. What does his afro and his position have anything to do with him affecting change in that manner? For two, wrongfulness and rightfulness is a matter of moral compass, just from my perspective. I feel like incorrect and correct are different from wrong and right. So you're not incorrect when you say Cap's position can hinder him from getting to the NFL. The NFL is a business. I understand that the businesses can do whatever they want when they're privatized. So let's debunk that notion right now. I'm not saying essentially the NFL is incorrect, but wrongfulness and rightfulness, why can't he wear an afro and play? I don't think that's morally right to tell somebody they can't represent themselves, they can't freely be an individual. So are you wrong? It's a matter of opinion still, but I think you're wrong. You may not be incorrect, but you're wrong for saying that Cap needs to change his image to play. The boy already been proven that he can play.
Get in the NFL?
No. You are wrong. You are wrong because you can have on a T-shirt.
Bam. Get him.
And be professional, okay? You don't have to necessarily have on a suit and tie to be professional. Russell Simmons does it all the time. I think we all would think he's hip-hop. Doesn't matter.
You hear him calling hip-hop. Hip-hop. You hear him refuting every chance he can. Russell Simmons is professional, whether it's hip-hop or not. Hip-hop is a business, too. Russell Simmons is in them offices making deals with those elitists. So don't act like because it's hip-hop, he still can't conduct himself in a hip-hop manner.
We're talking about being professional. It may be different rules. Okay. Wait. NFL different rules.
Does it depend on what T-shirt you're wearing? If you're wearing Fidel Castro T-shirt, if you're wearing socks that have...
Yes, it depends on what shirt, but guess what? You still not addressing the primary issue. Your Western fucking standards. You denounce Fidel Castro because of Western society. Everybody in the West think Castro is a horrible being. You know what I'm saying? Without studies of Castro. Or what else you about to say? The pig socks. Not everybody has a good relationship with police. So is it okay for the NFL to represent that? No, but that's beside the point. Freedom of speech is being taken and is being supported by everyone who claims to be an American.
You're wearing the socks that have cops as pigs, and remember, he's not just
Look at the Coon.
He's not just any football player. He's the quarterback. He's a quarterback, and there's a different sort of class by which you're supposed to carry yourself.
See, he represents Eurocentric culture. He already separating the quarterback from the other players, as if the quarterback has better genes or some shit. The quarterback sets himself and holds himself to a different standard. We know the quarterback is the leader of the group. We know the quarterback orchestrates the offense, but the quarterback is no better human. And why do we hold the quarterback to a different, higher standard? So the quarterback can't look like the running back? Is that what you're saying? The running back could be out there looking like a negative portrayal to Western society, while the quarterback has to uphold. Maybe that's why it's not a lot of black quarterbacks, since they have a higher standard.
And this is not just a black thing that you have to.
Oh, trigger words, trigger words. Everybody who can detect coonery and can detect white supremacy, those are the trigger words right there. It's not about race. Black people. How many times have you seen somebody who looks like him in melanin or lack thereof melanin state that it's not about race? This is a common denominator in their culture. Now me, I'm in acceptance. I don't care as to whether the European will see race. I've concluded through my own anecdotes that it's more than likely that they will not see racism as an issue on any issue. Y'all can help me out for the majority. You got the 10 wisest, you got the couple of people who see it, but for the most part, they're gonna tell you that it's not about race in every instance in society. So I would challenge and ask them, when the fuck is it about race? Has it ever been about race? Like, you got the elitist creators creating race, and then you got the citizens saying it's never about race. Go figure.
Hold on, you started this by saying he has to dress and look a certain way to be perceived as professional. Cornel West has a goatee, our hair has a big afro, everything is.
Bam! Goatee hair, different afro in politics. Like what? Now what do you got to say about Cornel West? This is the thing about coonery and white supremacy. They'll refute any argument, even if it's valid. That's a valid point right there. Somebody who has a political stance, somebody who's active, somebody who's a writer, has an afro, is conducted as far as verbally and speaks professionally. So what's the problem?
But one, he's brilliant, but secondly, he's in a completely different field.
Okay. Now he's in a different field. Now he can be unprofessional within the field of politics or the field of social activism.
You're talking about field, the importance of field. If he was going for an interview to be an accountant or a banker,
see, I call him out too because there shouldn't be no standard, man. Let us live, period. Respect culture. Culture is not a bad thing. This Western standard, this Eurocentric standard, tries to make us all wear a suit and tie and look all unswaggy like this motherfucker. We don't wanna look like y'all. We don't wanna be like y'all. So let people let America be multicultural, because we have people from different ethnicities to be respected. So I'm gonna get on him when he says banker and this maybe. Why can't a person with an afro be a banker if he knows his numbers? If he doesn't represent the bank wrongfully in business practice? This image shit is sickening, because you guys are saying something else. You guys are saying that other cultures are inappropriate. Wearing a Punjabi is inappropriate. Wearing an afro is inappropriate. It's a militant stance. Of course, white people always call us militant when we don't agree with white supremacy.
baby, this is the NFL. How many dozens of guys have afros?
Not
cornrows?
Quarterback.
Hold on,
Mike. He did it again. Not at quarterback. Remember, he's bringing them to a standard. Remember, when you talk about superiority, you're raising standards of human beings.
Yeah. Michael Vick had cornrows.
Where did Michael Vick end up?
Hold on.
Where Michael Vick end up? You hear the Coon? Like the cornrows was the reason why Vick ended up where he at. We all know about the dog disputes, and we all know about people being specific people being targeted. Black athletes go to jail at a higher rate than white athletes. Is it because we're more aggressive, or is it because we're being more targeted? They're all doing crimes. Roethlisberger's fucking in the bathroom. Johnny Manziel fucking off, pissing on walls, doing all type of shit.
Up there not because of his hairstyle, but because he was fighting and killing dogs. Hold on, when he had the cornrows, he got the richest NFL contract in history to that point. It had nothing to do with his hair.
But he did not take an anti-police stand.
Anti-police? Completely against police? Cap is out there capping police? No pun intended. He never said he hated police. He's just talking about the criminal justice system and how it protects the treatment of citizens by police. So the system, the structure. So it's not, I hate every policeman. Don't twist it like that. Don't do that. But that's your job. This is their job on these news panels, because their boss essentially controls our culture and how it's ran. Essentially, his boss is the same people who boss around the police. Elitists.
and then have this, and then have.
He's not taking the anti-police stance. He's taking a African American
right
stance.
here 2 days ago and said the guy needed to cut his hair.
That's Mike's opinion.
Again.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Just because Vic said it, what, are we supposed to agree with Vic? Or just because Vic's black? And that's the thing we got to do as African people. Just because somebody black doesn't mean they represent or support or are socially conscious about your plight. Mike Vick could be unaware of the African plight, though he went through the ringer, but he could be unaware of the plight and why having an afro is, or why trying to take away the afro is ethnocide.
That's Mike's opinion.
So how you gonna
based on what advice Mike had been given to get himself back in after coming out of jail. This guy didn't do it.
They're trying to sideswipe the conversation initially that your culture, your black culture, is not allowed in the NFL. Look at him. Telling you, it's a hippo of the day. Cooning.
He was in his con. He had a lot further to go than Kaepernick. Kaepernick's done nothing wrong.
I understand.
In your opinion, has he done what is wrong that Cap's done? You can attest that it's been incorrect, but wrong is morally. He hasn't hurt anyone. He hasn't killed anyone. Now, what he's protesting against, to me, is morally wrong. Beating down, shooting down unarmed black men, that's morally wrong. Y'all refuse to even talk about that, though. The whole Cap issue is being sideswiped by people like him, people like Hippo today.
His hair didn't get
He hasn't committed people giving the job. Mike Vick, he hurt their business.
Cutting his hair. Mike Vick cutting his hair did not get him back in the NFL. Stop for a second.
Thank you.
How
you know? You hear the coon? You hear the coon? How you know? So cutting his hair got him back, Whitlock? Telling you they pay these people to coon. That's why I shout out to him right here. He ain't cooning. He refuses. But in the position he is, he's still silenced to a degree. Don't get it twisted. They work for Fox Sports News. Don't ever think that Fox is going to represent a person of color in a ascending light, in a positive manner. Peep Nancy Grace, peep Bill O'Reilly, peep how they talk about your kind.
Talent, along with some wink wink nudge nudge from Tony Dungy, is what got him back in. Okay. It had nothing to do with him cutting his hair.
Didn't you say, I believe on this show 2 days ago, that the look that he has portrays what? A militant black image, correct? I believe.
Okay, but that's not because of Cap. That's because of the portrayal that we have on people like Cap. Whenever you take a stance of activism, no matter who you are, you're perceived militant. Angela Davis, soft-spoken but strong-spoken. Doesn't have a loud tone, but she's an advocate of knocking down Western society, Western white privilege. She's looked at as militant. So is that wrongfulness in our perception, or is it wrongfulness in the person who's perceived that way? Think about it. He won't think about it because it's his privilege to not even think about race. He never is going to play race as a factor. This is the quintessential European in America. We have the Tim Wises, we have the others, but the average, moderate, or conservative will never think or never say race is a factor. This is why white people care to not talk about it. They ask us so bad to not talk about it. Please stop talking about race. It's our reality. May not be yours, it's ours.
But that image.
Just answer the question.
Okay, yes, I did.
Just answer the question. And we got coons, man. It's hard when we got coons protecting Western white supremacy.
Already.
Not at quarterback, okay?
Because the number.
Wait, you can have. I beg of you to allow me. I beg of you to allow me to finish. I'm trying to get around to a point.
We've allowed you niggas to speak long enough about racial issues, but he's gonna do it anyway. That's black empathy right there. We're gonna let you get your piece. We're not gonna be violent and angry and aggressive like the stigma provides. We're gonna let you speak out of your ignorance. You're just gonna deny that racism is an issue. That's all you're gonna do.
Okay. The idea is, yes, it does. It is other places, but there aren't people leading a protest against police brutality, and
so there aren't people leading a protest. There aren't people against police brutality. What's wrong with those two things? We're leading a protest for police brutality. You've clearly stated he's against police brutality and he leads protests. Is there something wrong with that? Check your standards. Check your Western standards. You're against revolutionary things in a system that to some is unjust. Maybe you don't want revolution. Maybe this system favors you. That's why this really ain't about him. It's about Whitlock, because it's our Afrocentric people I'm trying to reach. We got to stop cooning, period. They're never going to get it. I don't expect them to get it. Different strokes for different folks.
Their quarterback. It's a confluence of hair, stance, image that Mike Vick's saying, like, look, this is
hair, stance, image. Afro, Afrocentric, stance, Afrocentric, image, Afrocentric. So he's basically saying it's a combination of Afrocentrism, Afrocentric, Afrocentric.
It's not going to get you solely back in the NFL, but it begins the change of the perception of who he is and what he's.
You're not going to change me into looking like you. I don't want to look like you, period. Don't change me. Don't make me cut my hair. Don't make me apply to Western standards. I can do the job better than Johnny Manziel, period.
It's about.
Hold on.
Look at him clapping. The Coon clapping. Thank you, Brazar. He don't got to change. He don't want to change.
Want to change.
Real one laughing. You see the real one? See, all my real niggas know. They get silenced too. They can't say everything, so they can just laugh and be like, these niggas, it's cooning.
Image of who he is and
then
what
he's not going to get back in the NFL. That's what
Hold
Mike's
on.
saying.
Listen, he has a negative image for one reason and one reason only. Because he has taken a bold and radical stance on behalf of African American men.
Period. And he's willing to even concur with that, but he's not willing to say that. He's not willing to verbally express that. You know it. You know it. That's the sick part. This part right here let me know that you even somewhat can see it, but your refusal to say it is almost a protection in your investment, your culture, your supremacy.
Anyone who does that. Malcolm X was as clean cut as they come. Bad, negative image. Not because
Facts.
he did something wrong, but because of the stance he took. Martin Luther King, before he died, got killed. Negative image publicly.
Facts.
It is not because of the hair. It's because of the stance he has taken, pure and simple.
Now, let me take this back to Cap. When you say because you don't have anyone at the quarterback position doing it, how many black quarterbacks? Number one, look at the number of black.
And correlate. Look, correlate to what the white boy said. He said quarterbacks are held at a superior position. And then he says, Dyson says that there are not many black quarterbacks. It's a correlation we can make. Y'all just ponder on that. Quarterbacks are superior. It's mainly white quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks in the league, okay? The percentages. Hold on. No, but and you've had RG3 had dreads, okay? I mean, he had.
All right, they're sideswiping the conversation. Basically, I did this video to exploit and expose Whitlock and his racist ideologies. He's been quoted saying that rich people can't face racism, as if we haven't seen celebrities go through the ringer, as if it's all perspective. But at the end of the day, like a Lil Wayne could not see it, but a Dave Chappelle, the old Dave Chappelle, I don't know about this new Dave Chappelle, the old Dave Chappelle could see it. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's all perspective, but when you have a Coon, they're always willing to knock it down or denounce race as much as possible. That's what Whitlock has been doing. That's what people that look like this dude has been doing for hundreds of years. Dyson and Broussard just want them to listen. Like, man, these are the black people of America today. Like, man, just listen to what I'm saying. If you listen, they are refusal. Look, defense mode. But yeah, man, this is Dane. What y'all think? What do y'all think the perception of this? To me, you have the African American, you feel me, who's proud to be an American, but it still understands his culture. You have I'm kind of African American, but I'm more black. You feel me? I like, you know what I'm saying? I'm more advocate of my people. Then you have, I accept what society is, so I'll do anything to apply to society, even if it means it's by a means of ethnocide. And then you have, oh shit, I'm white. This conversation really ain't, I really don't apply to this conversation as far as talking about race, but shit, I could jump in. I could say whatever. He's the white privilege in here. It's Dame, man. Damian Harkless.